And that's how you wreck an elementalist. Welcome to this build guide to the Berserker condition. Okay, so just to start off, let me explain. I'm not a very experienced warrior, but I do enjoy the class a lot. And I've been thinking a lot about how to make a viable build. And I think last season I kind of nailed it as far as it can go. I really like playing condition on warriors, so I wanted to make a condition build, but it had to be effective in the current meta. We see a lot of elementalists around, a lot of very tanky builds, but heavy condition pressure takes them out easily. Currently, Necromancer is dominating that position, but something we differ from the Necros is that we have a lot of interrupts and much more burst condition. So I've been working with that. I also needed very high defense in order to stay alive in this meta. Therefore, I created the following builds. I started using Mace and Torch in my first hand, and Sword and Shield in the other hand. I took Wanderer's Amulet. It offers me some toughness, and it will purely be a condition build. Now for my utility skills, I took Mending, Balance Stance, Berserker Stance, Outrage, and Headbutt. For my rune, I took Superior Rune of the Tempest, and over here Sigil of Torment, Sigil of Energy, against Sigil of Energy, and Sigil of Geomancy. For my traits, I pick Strength, Defense, and Berserker. First in Strength is Restorative Strength, giving me 5 might stacks whenever I use Mending. It's not too great, but it's the best choice in the whole line. And then I have Body Blow, very important. The weakness is one of your defensive capabilities, but also the bleeding is really nice on any form of CC, and you have quite a lot. Lastly, I have Distracting Strikes, causing confusion when I interrupt foe skill. As I said, we have quite a lot of CCs, so we'll be interrupting quite a lot. Next in defense we have Shield Monster, which reflects up any block and giving us might when we do. We have Reflect over here then, and on shield stance. Next, pretty standard too, we have Defy Pain. Whenever we fall below 25% threshold, we get Endure Pain, which basically makes us immune for normal damage. And last, I have Rousing Resilience, and the whole build kind of resolves around this trait. It heals us for 2.5k and gives us 1k extra toughness whenever we break stun. This can very well be combined with Headbutt as a stun breaker, and then again with Outrage healing us for 5k. But wait, there's more. Superior Rune of the Tempest heals us whenever we break a stun, again, and this heals for around 2k. So we can easily burst out a heal on breaking stun for 5k. And the best part is we can stun ourselves on purpose. Next, Savage Instinct, removing 2 conditions, and break stun whenever entering Berserk mode. Really good, adding another stun breaker to the rotation, not having to use Outrage is just great, and more condition removal because we really need that in this current meta. Then we have Heat Souls. It's basically a pretty straightforward trait. We get 150% extra condition damage in our in this set, and the cooldown is lowered on these skills, so that's great. This one also removes 2 conditions. So yeah, and basically in the end we have of course King of Fires. Now you should be kind of flexible with this. You should take Eternal Champion whenever you have a very hard DPS team and less tankiness in the enemy team, but most of the time you can just go on with King of the Fires, getting 33% extra burning duration, and the Fire Shield mechanic, which I'm not really going to explain right now, but it plays really well with the build. And that's the build already itself. Pretty straightforward, but there are quite a lot of cool combinations you can do. You can kill the thing that's most in the meta right now, Elementalists, Reapers are surprisingly easy to build with this build if you can dodge their Plague Signet, and even if you get hit by it, you can still play around with it pretty well. So yeah, I'll just show you some more footage, make some commentaries on it, and I hope you enjoy it. Goodbye. As you may notice, I stumble upon a Necromancer only 4 points in this map. I immediately see that I have a pretty bad advantage against the Necromancer as he managed to get some hits on me, but I managed to restore pretty fast and unload some damage on him. I noticed that he has quite some conditions from me and I dodge my Plague Signet. I notice that he goes into Death Shroud and I know I can't really damage him whenever he has this ability, so I decide to kite around. This way I can get him his cooldowns. His ability runs off and I immediately decide to burst him. This is very effective. As you can see right now, he has quite a lot of conditions and goes down in an instant. There was no way the Necromancer could win. A short time afterwards, as I expected, the Necromancer comes back for revenge. I seek, behind a pillar, some hiding spot and I start to burst him. Unfortunately, I can't dodge his Plague Signet, but I managed to use my Berserker stance. He goes very defensive at this moment, which is a pretty smart move from him. I get stunned, but I immediately stun break, giving me some extra toughness and health. He's loading me up with conditions again, making it pretty hard for me. The blocking of course doesn't work, which is a pretty bad mistake from me. I try to gain some distance in defense, however I will lose a point. Over here is when I start to burst him. I know that he will pop that shroud soon, however I just keep on bursting because he doesn't. And then the unexpected happened, he didn't have that shroud yet. I managed to get him down fairly easy because he ran out of condition transfers. In this next fight I run towards far, where already a team fight is happening. I just want to support them and kill the enemy as quickly as possible. I start focusing on the given target, which is Mesmer. She keeps blocking all the way and I try to push, however I get loaded with conditions. I try to clean them off as quickly as possible. As soon one of my teammates run off point who is on low health and the scrapper, I decide to follow the Mesmer. However, I'm not quick enough and I can't follow him. I see that the scrapper is on quite good health points and have a lot of wounds, so he should be able to defend himself. I get back on point and focus on the Elementalist. I see that the Elementalist gets bursted quite heavily by my conditions. She now has all her cooldowns up and I decide to focus her even more. The interrupts are killing her, slowly but deadly. She's trying to constantly heal up but goes down. As she's down, the Mesmer tries to rest her, but I immediately interrupt and also down the Mesmer with all my interrupts and conditions. I notice that the Scrapper further up is also down, but I don't even have to interrupt because my teammate gets stunned. Okay guys, I've just shown you about 3 clips with a few commentary. I know it's not really a lot, you can't really see the gameplay that good, but it does show a bit of what a build is capable of. If you like, I can make a video later with a compilation of all sorts of fights, but right now I just want to show off the build I'm using, and I hope it helps you guys, because lately the warrior community has been quite depressing, not from you guys, but mainly because it is just quite depressing to play warrior. So I hope this helps, and I'll see you next time.